Estimating the electrical costs for a condo project requires careful consideration of several factors. These factors include the location, the presence of a union, current market rates, and the overall complexity of the project. Based on the specifications provided, a reasonable cost range for the electrical work on this project is between $450,000 and $600,000. A detailed breakdown of these costs is important for accurate bidding. Firstly, let's consider the materials. The estimated cost for materials ranges from $150,000 to $200,000. This includes all wiring, conduits, boxes, fittings, and other electrical components necessary for the installation. Secondly, we need to consider the labor costs. Labor expenses are estimated to be between $250,000 and $350,000. This figure covers the wages for electricians, their helpers, and any other personnel involved in the installation process. Thirdly, we need to account for overhead and profit. Overhead and profit typically add another $50,000 to $100,000 to the total cost. Overhead includes expenses such as insurance, vehicle costs, office expenses, and other indirect costs associated with running the business. Profit is the amount the contractor expects to earn from the project. These estimates are based on several assumptions. Firstly, it is assumed that non-union labor will be used. Secondly, the installation is not complex. Thirdly, material costs are average for the area. Fourthly, labor rates are based on local market data. Additional considerations need to be taken into account during the bidding process. Firstly, elevator wiring is something to think about. This may be contracted out to a specialized elevator contractor. The costs associated with the elevator wiring are separate from the standard electrical work. Secondly, service entrance is also important to take into account. The underground service trenching will be done by others. This means that the cost of digging the trench is not included in the electrical contractor's bid. Thirdly, the tenant panels need to be accounted for. The bid should include the installation of all tenant panels. This encompasses the cost of the panels themselves and the labor to install them. Fourthly, the fixtures are very important to consider. The builder will supply all fixtures, so the bid should only include the wiring for them. This reduces the material costs for the electrical contractor. Fifthly, permits and inspections. The quoted price should include the cost of all necessary permits and inspections. Failing to include these costs can lead to unexpected expenses. When developing a bidding strategy, consider these points. Firstly, estimate high. Start with a slightly higher bid to allow for unexpected costs. This provides a buffer in case of unforeseen issues. Secondly, be competitive. Research the market and submit a bid that is competitive with other contractors. Understanding local pricing is essential for winning the bid. Thirdly, highlight experience. Emphasize previous experience with similar projects. This builds confidence with the client. Fourthly, provide a detailed breakdown. Include a detailed breakdown of costs to show transparency and accountability. This helps the client understand the value being provided. Fifthly, allow for negotiations. Be prepared to negotiate based on the value provided and the project's timeline. Flexibility can increase the likelihood of securing the project. Now let's go deeper into some specific aspects of the electrical work required for the condo project. The 600 amp underground 208 volts 3-phase service is a critical component. The service entrance provides the main power supply to the building. Ensuring it is correctly sized and installed according to local codes is paramount. Group metering on the outside of the building simplifies billing for the tenants. Each tenant's electrical consumption is measured individually. This requires careful planning and installation of the metering equipment. The 6 100 amp single-phase tenant panels distribute power within each tenant's unit. These panels must be adequately sized to handle the expected load from lighting, appliances, and other electrical devices. The 1 200 amp 3-phase house panel supplies power to common areas and equipment. This includes lighting in hallways, the parking garage, and any other shared facilities. The 2100-pound 20-horsepower hydraulic elevator is a significant electrical load. The feeder wiring for the elevator must be robust enough to handle the motor's starting and running current. Additionally, the elevator control room being fire sprinklered necessitates careful installation of electrical components to prevent water damage. The parking garage furnace requires a dedicated electrical circuit. Ensuring that the furnace receives the correct voltage and amperage is critical for its safe and efficient operation. The 30-amp baseboard heater in the front entry provides supplemental heating. This heater should be installed with appropriate overcurrent protection and wiring. The 3 street lamps in the yard require underground wiring. The wiring must be protected from physical damage and moisture. The 6 common whole light wiring connections need to be neatly installed. The wiring needs to be in compliance with the electrical codes. All fixtures are supplied by the builder. This means the electrical contractor is responsible for installing the wiring and connecting the fixtures. Given that the building is wood-framed except for the spancrete in the garage, wiring methods must be chosen carefully to comply with fire safety regulations. Now let's talk about some specific electrical code considerations. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for safe electrical installations. Firstly, Article 210 covers branch circuits. This article specifies requirements for the size and number of branch circuits needed to supply various loads. Secondly, Article 220 deals with load calculations. This article provides methods for calculating the total electrical load of a building. Thirdly, Article 230 covers services. This article outlines requirements for the service entrance, including the size of the service conductors and overcurrent protection. Fourthly, Article 250 addresses grounding and bonding. This article specifies requirements for grounding the electrical system to prevent electrical shock hazards. Fifthly, Article 300 covers wiring methods. This article outlines acceptable wiring methods for various applications. Sixthly, Article 310 provides information on conductor ampacity. This article specifies the maximum current that conductors can safely carry. Seventhly, Article 400 covers flexible cords and cables. This article outlines requirements for using flexible cords and cables in electrical installations. Eighthly, Article 430 deals with motors. This article provides requirements for motor circuits and motor protection. Ninthly, Article 440 covers air conditioning and refrigeration equipment. This article specifies requirements for the electrical connections to air conditioning and refrigeration equipment. Tenthly, Article 500 through 516 address hazardous locations. These articles provide requirements for electrical installations in areas where flammable gases or vapors may be present. In addition to the NEC, local electrical codes may also apply. It is essential to consult with the local authorities to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Remember to coordinate closely with other trades such as plumbers, HVAC technicians, and general contractors to ensure that the electrical work is properly integrated with the other building systems. This can help prevent conflicts and delays during construction. Also, be sure to document all work performed and maintain accurate records of the electrical installations. This documentation may be required for inspections and future maintenance. Finally, ensure that all electrical work is performed by qualified and licensed electricians. This will help ensure the safety and reliability of the electrical system. When pricing the electrical work, consider breaking down the costs into different phases of the project. Firstly, rough-in. This includes installing the wiring, conduit, and boxes before the walls are finished. Secondly, trim out. This includes installing the devices, fixtures, and cover plates after the walls are finished. Thirdly, panel installation. This includes installing the service panel, tenant panels, and house panel. Fourthly, equipment connections. This includes connecting the elevator, furnace, and other major electrical equipment. Fifthly, testing and commissioning. This includes testing the electrical system to ensure that it is working properly. In addition to the direct costs of materials and labor, You also need to consider indirect costs such as project management, insurance, and bonding. These costs can add a significant amount to the overall project cost. Also, be sure to include a contingency in your bid to cover unexpected costs or delays. A contingency of 5 to 10% is typically recommended. Communicate effectively with the client throughout the bidding process. This includes answering their questions promptly and providing them with regular updates on the project's progress. By following these guidelines, you can develop an accurate and competitive bid for the electrical work on the Condo project. Remember to tailor your bid to the specific requirements of the project and the local market conditions. Understanding the intricacies of electrical estimation and bidding is crucial for success in the electrical contracting industry. Proper planning, accurate cost assessment, and a strategic bidding approach can help ensure that you secure profitable projects while delivering high-quality electrical services. Always prioritize safety and compliance with electrical codes to protect both your workers and the building occupants. Regularly update your knowledge of the NEC and local regulations to stay current with the latest requirements. Continuous learning and improvement are essential for staying competitive in the ever-evolving electrical industry.